everyone and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the murder of Cooper Harris. So this murder actually happened in 2014. So what happened was that that day the father of Cooper, uh, his name is Ross Harris. So he was supposed to drop his 22-month-old son at daycare. So they went to Chick-fil-A, and after Chick-fil-A, this is when I don't get it. So they went Chick-fil-A for breakfast, and so they sat there, have breakfast, and then he picked his son up from his booster seat at Chick-fil-A, brought him to the car, strapped him in, got and then Ross got into the driver's seat and took off. Next thing you know is that he arrives in work, totally forgetting that his son is in the back seat, and leave him there until later in the afternoon. Um, and then around 12:30, uh, Ross went to lunch, came back, then 4:30 in the afternoon, then he realizes, oh my word, my son has been sitting in his back seat for this whole time, and I forgot to drop him off at daycare. And then obviously he calls the police, and then you have like passers-by coming to help to to see if they can do some CPR on the son. But Ross, in that moment, after calling the police, his misdemeanor is so strange. He is swearing at the officers who is asking for his ID. As usual, when you have an accident, whether it's your fault or not, the first thing when the police arrives is they're gonna ask you for your ID so that, you know, they can clarify, take down everything, from, so because that's what officers do. But he was swearing at the officer, saying that, why do you need my ID for? Why the F do you need it? Because it's an accident. And for me, it's like, if it is an accident that you really accidentally left your son there, you will not have a problem giving the officers your ID. Only someone who is as guilty as you are will say that you will be swearing at the cops and not wanting to give your ID, even if it's not his fault. And so that's on Ross' part. Then on his wife, um, Liana, they so he she went to she's a nurse. She went to pick up her son from daycare, But when she arrived, the person who's right at the when you I forgot what, it's not really the receptionist of the daycare. Like you have someone who's like at the entrance, so that when you at the daycare, when you sign your son or your daughter off, at least the person is there. That person asked Liana, "Why are you here? Your son has never been in daycare." And the first thing Liana said, which I thought was a little bit odd at the time, but I knew she has nothing to do with the whole murder, is, "Oh, I hope Ross didn't leave Cooper in the seat. I hope he didn't forget that his son is in the back seat." I mean, saying, if I don't know why you say it. I don't know whether she knew whether um her husband took him for breakfast. But I think it's like every parent's fear on like leaving their kid, at least leaving their kid um in the car. So probably that's why her mind went there. And there was like a lot of like CCTV that came out that it was showing that Ross stopped at Chick-fil-A, went in with his son, had breakfast. Even they spent 20-30 minutes at Chick-fil-A. How did it go from 30 minutes with your son having breakfast to going into the car, then leaving onto the main road, and then you forget that your son is in the back seat? If I just had breakfast with my children for 30 minutes, I would have remembered to take them to school after putting them into their car seat at the back. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna cut like end this like video here, and I would really like to hear you guys a point like comments about the whole thing. So comments in the comment section, what do you think about actually going on in this whole case, and let me know what your thought is.